What's up, Squirtle Squad? Sean here, and we are back with another Smogon tier changes update video. You guys know the deal. Today we're going to be taking a look at all the Pokemon that rose and fell for October, as well as looking at all the usage stats for the various tiers, courtesy of the Smogon Twitter account, of course, as always. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, then leaving a like would be very much appreciated, to show me that you guys are into this type of stuff. And I mean, shoot, maybe you could even subscribe while you're at it, so you can see more of these videos in the future as they come out. Who knows? But anyway, let's not delay. Let's just jump right into this. You guys know what's up. So let's just start off as we do with the rises going up from UUBL to OU. We have Victini and Blacephalon. So these guys were BL before, so obviously people knew they were solid mons. Definitely too solid to be UU, but people just didn't use them a whole lot before. But that's starting to change as people seen just what like two powerhouses both of these Pokemon are. Victini, of course, always been super strong with the Choice Band, V-Crate, and all that. It's just really hard to switch in, especially with Bolt Strike for coverage. But also, mixed Victini has been becoming more and more popular with stuff like Glaciate for ones like Landorus or Garchomp or any of that stuff. So it can deal with those mons as well, which is very convenient. And just in general, it's a really hard mon to switch into. So it's easy to see why it's rising up in usage. Same can be said for Blacephalon, who is just absurdly strong. If you pack in like a Choice Specs on that or something. This mon's kind of similar to Dragapult in the sense of being able to just spam ghost moves, but the main difference is Dragapult is more speedy but not quite as strong, whereas Blacephalon isn't quite as fast but is absurdly strong. And also he has the fire coverage on top of that. And I mean, just in general, ghost types are very difficult to switch into. I mean, if you look at the OU usage, there's not a whole lot that can take ghost type moves. I mean, of course you got Blissey, which is kind of, the main exception, but besides that, there's not a whole lot. I mean, you have stuff like Weavile and Bisharp, but like those aren't really like sturdy resists. Like they're still going to take a lot from a Shadow Ball. And yeah, just in general, ghost types are very good. Very spammable type. And Blacephalon sure can spam his ghost moves, and also Choice Scarf Blacef as well is a nice mon. Get a little more speed, becomes a very viable sweeper, because with Beast Boost he gets all the stat raises for every kill he gets. So yeah, both these guys just very solid. And yeah, people are starting to realize that and use them more, which is always nice to see. Moving on to UU to OU, we have first off Buzzwole, which is a big one. We check over here, we can see Buzzwole was number 10th in usage for UU, so clearly he's pretty good, I'd say. But now he's not in the tier anymore, so that's gonna have a pretty big impact for UU, although as we'll see later, UU's gonna have a whole bunch of other changes to deal with, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But for now, Buzzwole in OU, he's just a super tanky mon, and his typing, while he is quad weak to flying, it does give him a lot of nice resistances, able to switch into dark moves and ground moves, grass moves, fighting moves, all that stuff he can take no problem. And also just since he's so physically defensive, he can take a lot of neutral hits as well. If we look at the Mons in OU, just a lot. Buzzwole can wall very easily. You got stuff Landorus, Weavile, Kartana can't do anything to this guy. Urshifu, Melmetal to some extent. Dragonite, if they're not running dual Wing Beat, which a lot aren't these days. A lot of them are running like Earthquake, Ice Punch coverage. Rillaboom can't touch this guy. It just so Zeraora can't do anything either. You just check so many physical attackers in the tier. And yeah, he's just a solid answer for a lot of Mons. So very, very nice fit for OU. Can do a lot in the tier. And Pelipper also moving up from OU. I guess people just it's just back on their bullshit. Just spamming rain on the ladder as they do from time to time, which is understandable. And speaking of that, of the RU to OU usage as well, Barrascuda moving up as well, so more evidence of rain spam. I mean, the rain's just rain, you know. It's simple, it's easy, does the job. People like to use it for all those reasons on the ladder. So yeah, it's just just kind of just inevitable, I guess. People, sooner or later, people were just gonna start spamming rain again, and these guys would move up. So not too surprising. Ninetales as well. Speaking of people spamming stuff on the ladder, Ninetales from RU to OU. So the main reason for this is, and we can see this if we go to the usage stats, people have been spamming Hail in OU, and more specific, if I can speak, more specifically, Ninetales plus Arctozolt, which, if you guys don't know, Arctozolt, oh my god, I can't say anything. Arctozolt, these freaking names. He gets Slush Rush for one of his abilities, which is basically like Swift Swim, Chlorophyll, except for Hail. So obviously that makes him a nice match with Ninetales, but also he just has very good dual stab, Electric and Ice. Very good coverage. Not a lot can switch into that. Besides, like, the only things I can think of are like Rotom Wash and Rotom Heat, and that's basically it. So this guy's got some stuff going for him, but at the same time, if we check him over here on Showdown real quick, we can see the stats aren't that hot, honestly. It's not pretty darn slow, even with Slush Rush. It's going to be slower than a lot of really fast Mons like Dragapult and Zeraora and stuff like that. And just I mean, he's not bad, obviously, because people are using him, but he does have some shortcomings. But regardless of that, though, people have still been spamming this guy on the ladder. Hail is super common right now, and as you can see in the usage, technically, based on the stats for September, Arctozolt has been used enough to be considered OU, but since the tier changes are based off 3 months of usage, and people weren't using Arctozolt that much earlier than that, before like a month ago, it's kind of a little too late to make the jump up, but he's still good enough that you can see here he got banned to UUBL, which I think before he was like PU or something, so that's pretty impressive in its own right, I gotta say. I'm not entirely sure why people have started using this guy a lot now, because I mean, his main strengths, like, is Bolt Beam coverage and Slush Rush. We've known about that for a while, but people just never really tapped into it, I guess. But now that has changed, and people are really starting to like this mon. Although I can see potentially the hype kind of dying down a little bit as time goes on. But yeah, people have been really loving Hail. And also, if I could speculate a bit, I'd say possibly one reason Hail and also mons that abuse Hail, like Arctozolt, have become so much more common in OU is because of the Light Clay ban in the lower tiers, making mons like Ninetales, who primarily set up screens, a little less viable in those tiers, so people haven't been using them. I mean, back when it was in the lower tiers, and that also, as a result of that, people weren't using mons like Arctozolt, who could pair well with Ninetales. Not really, at least. But Light Clay is still allowed in OU, of course, so I think people sort of migrated there for all their like Hail teams and just spamming RUBL and stuff like that, since it's much more viable there, of course, because of Light Clay. I don't think Ninetales was that bad in lower tiers like RU, because, well, yeah, can't get 8 turns of Veil, which kind of sucks. 5 turns is still pretty solid, enough to get a sweep going, definitely. But right now, currently, Ninetales is chilling in OU for the time being. And yeah, I also wonder. I do think Arctozolt might kind of fade as time goes on, but I wonder if Ninetales is going to stick around a little longer and people are just going to keep spamming screens with this thing. Because honestly, right now, mostly people have been using Ninetales not especially for screens, but mostly just to set up Hail for Arctozolt. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see where they go from there. But anyways, moving on from RUBL to UU, we got Diggersby, my boy. I mean, yeah, another case of BL mons moving up to the next tier. Obviously, everyone knew Diggersby was a big-ass threat. He's freaking Diggersby. But also stuff in UU like Celesteela and Rotom Wash kind of making stuff annoying for Diggersby a bit. Also Buzzwole back when he was in the tier. But still, Diggersby does have stuff for that, like Fire Punch or Thunder Punch for Celesteela. And while Return not being in the game anymore does kind of suck for him, because now he basically has to choose between high power but low accuracy moves like Mega Kick, or high accuracy but low power moves like Facade or Body Slam. He still can get the job done. He's still got huge power. He's still got Stab Earthquake. Diggersby doing what he always does, which is just break any wall in his face. I mean, besides, some of the mons I listed that kind of check him, but that's besides the point. Point is, people are starting to see the power of the GOAT, and he's getting the respect he deserves. That's my boy. All right, put respect on this man. Shout out to Detroit Diggersbys. Anyway, so that's him moving up to UU. Also moving up to UU is Seismitoad from RU. And this is pretty easy to see why he moved up, I think. If we look at the UU usage, we see mons like Rotom Wash again and Thundurus, which are not the easiest Pokemon to switch into unless you're a Seismitoad who is immune to both electric and water. It can handle mons like that very easily. At least he can handle Thundurus if it doesn't have Grass Knot. Seismitoad always just been a great bulky water type and great bulky ground type at the same time. And the water immunity is just really just the icing on the cake that really makes this mon able to eat hits very well. And yeah, number 6 in RU, so it was very, very common in the tier, but now it is in UU, so that's a big change for RU. Although I wonder if Seismitoad will last in UU because I have a new addition in that tier, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And yeah, just Seismitoad doing what he always does. Swollen stuff, very specific things, but scary things nonetheless that people need answers to. And Seismitoad is a fantastic answer to mons like that. Next up, NUBL to RU, we got Lucario. So RU, if we look, Lucario looks pretty decent. I mean, there's stuff like Crobat that's kind of annoying for it, but I mean, it's got pretty solid coverage. Just looking at the top 10, can hit Togekiss with Iron Head, or wait, does he get Iron Head? Hold on, let me not look like a nincompoop real quick. Let me fact check myself. Do you get Iron Head? You don't. Okay. I'm just a silly Billy, apparently. But you do get Meteor Mash. So you can hit Togekiss with Meteor Mash. Can blow up Umbreon with close combat. Weezing can also get Meteor Mashed. It's just in higher tiers, stuff like Pex make fighting and steel coverage not that great. But in the lower tiers, honestly, it's pretty good. Not a whole lot that can take those two. Let's look at the rest of RU right quick. Cloyster's not taking a hit that well. Flygon it's not great for Lucario, seeing as it is the number 1 mon in the tier. Can outspeed and kill with Earthquake and stuff like that. But still, Gardevoir gets smashed by Meteor Mash. Incineroar getting blown up by close combat. A little Marowak's also kind of an issue for him. But if you peck an Earthquake, it's not that bad. Obstacoon dying. Porygon 2 dying. Registeel probably gets 2-hit KO'd. Stack Attack again, super blown away. Yeah, he's just good coverage. Just a very strong, spammable fighting type. Which there are already some of those in RU, like Heracross, for instance. But Lucario just really puts a lot of pressure on the tier, and also can be ran in different ways. Could just run like straight banded. You could run Swords Dance. Could run him special with Nasty Plot. A lot of different sets you could run on him. So yeah, makes sense. People would use him more. Does big damage just clicking CC in RU. So yeah. And also moving to RU is Celebi, moving up from NU. So Celebi used a lot in NU. It's not top 10, so yeah. But Celebi, is interesting. The typing, of course, isn't the best. When you're quad weak to U-turn, it's kind of rough. But at the same time, Celebi, very solid stats all around. Of course, base 100 across the board. Can serve a lot of different roles. Can be bulky. Can be offensive. Gets a fantastic move pool. Just so many great moves, both offensively and defensively. Can do a lot. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure what makes Celebi so good in RU. As you guys may know, I'm not the most familiar with the lower tiers, so forgive me if I don't know specifics of why some Pokemon are good or bad down here. But anyways, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, stuff like Leaf Storm can deal with Suicune if you're offensive, and Milotic, which is really annoying. Although Milotic probably want to run physical with like Seed Bomb or something. yeah, I don't know. I'm actually curious. If how people are using Celebi, if it's more offensive or maybe supportive. Um, I'm not sure. Uh, nice for Gastrodon. Obviously, quad weak to grass, and also when Seismitoad was allowed, probably very nice for him. So I guess Celebi does have its niche in the tier. Um, I can't imagine people are spamming it that much, but still, seems like it can do some work. Celebi always been held down mostly by its typing, but just has so many different options it can do. Pretty solid mon, I think, all around. Nice to see it moving up more, because I think it being NU is just a little ridiculous, because I get like a lot of weaknesses, but NU, come on, it's Celebi. Have a little more respect. All right. Moving on, from PU to NU, we have Passimian and Silvally. I don't know what type this is, so let me check that right quick. Let's see here. Let's go to NU. Which Silvally moved up? Was it Steel? It looks like. All right. I mean, yeah, Steel is definitely one of the better types for Silvally. And just looking, not a whole lot of Steel types in general in NU. Got a Scavalier, and Copperajah. Okay, and you got Bronzong. Okay, so maybe that's some solid Steel types, but I guess you can never have too many Steel types. So people taking up to using Silvally. Silvally's always been kind of a weird mon to me, honestly, because like it can kind of do a lot. 'Cause it's got decent coverage, but also like it has to hold a memory, which basically means it can't have an item, which kind of blows. Also, stats aren't bad, but like they're just a little mid. I mean, I don't know. But hey, people are using them. I guess, Steel types are great. Fantastic, just defensive utility they have. And Passimian. Passimian, I've always thought a pretty solid mon. Are there that many fighting types in NU? We got Surf Etched and Toxicroak, which is basically it. So if I had to guess, I guess people using Passimian more as kind of a faster option for a fighting type. Scarf is very nice on this thing. It's a really nice speed tier. Has stuff like U-turn. Makes it a nice offensive pivot. Can also knock off and of course stab close combat. Plus with Defiant makes it a nice fit for sticky web teams. Because if anyone tries to defog, you get that +2 attack, and especially if you have a Scarf, that's gonna be very bad for your opponent. Now you're fast and strong as hell. And yeah, take a look at NU. Do people use webs in NU that much? It doesn't look like it. So I guess it's not for Defiant specifically that people are liking Passimian. But it's just a nice offensive fighting type. A good alternative to Surf Edged, who is also very good but very slow, and more so a wall breaker. And Passimian has more sweeping potential. So yeah. And then from ZU to PU, Audino, Drampa, and Jellicent. So what do people use in PU? Charizard, so I guess Jellicent's nice for that. Probably eat hits very nicely. I doubt people are running like Solar Beam or stuff like that in the tier, because I'm pretty sure Drought is banned. So Jellicent seems like it'd be a pretty nice check to Charizard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about PU, guys. I'm gonna keep it real. Savali Steel was used a lot in PU, so That's a loss for them. He's NU. A bit unfortunate. Also, Passimian was used a lot, so PU losing some of their all-star mons, which hate to see that, but I'm not sure why Drampa would move up. I don't know if people are running like Trick Room or something. I mean, he's a strong special attacker, but not much else. So I don't know if maybe people using him for physical walls like Wheezing in the tier, and Ardeno. I'm assuming just kind of fills a support role, just Wish, Heal Bell, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't have much to say about PU, so let's just move on to LC to PU, Ferroseed. So this is interesting because he moved up from Little Cup, but he's technically not banned from Little Cup because that's not how that works. I guess he's just PU by usage now. Whatever. Ferroseed is... I mean, he's just baby Ferrothorn, you know? I've always thought Ferroseed was pretty solid in lower tiers, honestly, with the Violite. Nice option for stuff in like RU or NU. You know, he basically just does what Ferrothorn does. You know, Leech Seed sets up hazards. Can Gyro Ball. He does miss some stuff, like I don't think it gets knockoff, for instance. But still, nice bulky steel type. Can just resist a lot. And yeah, so I can see why people would start using him more. Because again, just like he's just a mini Ferrothorn, and why wouldn't you want to use a Ferrothorn in other tiers? So yeah, that's basically that. So with all that being said, now for the part you've all been waiting for, the juicy stuff, the drops to the lower tiers. So first off, from OU to UUBL, Hawlucha. So Hawlucha not dropping off instantly to UU because he was banned from the tier previously, so they're not even, they're just not going to bother, just going to put him in BL. Hawlucha, kind of a shame to see him fall off because he still is such a solid mon, super strong, very fast with Unburden, has great coverage with the fighting and flying. Yeah, some stuff's kind of problematic, can't really touch Zapdos, but I mean, that aside, he still just has so much potential as a sweeper, and he just I don't know, just kind of unfortunate, I guess people aren't using him as much, because I mean, I get it, because he is very situational to use. You kind of have to run him on terrain with the seeds to get, you know, his Unburden going, which it does kind of suck that he's limited in that regard, but also if you look at usage, we can clearly see Tapus are in no shortage, so I don't think it's necessarily people having trouble fitting him on teams, but hey, you know, Hawlucha's always been one of those mons that kind of like shifts in how much people use it. You know, sometimes people spam him, other times he's kind of a niche pick, and I guess that's just one of those times right now. And yeah, although I do think now with Ninetales in the tier, I think Hawlucha could potentially work very well on screen teams. Just like get RUBL up and just set up with SD. I think Hawlucha could do that very well. But we'll see what becomes of our boy. But now, here we go. From OU to UU. First off, Excadrill. This is just shameful. This should not be a thing. This man, this absolute beast, he was running through everybody in Gen 5. He was breaking the tier. in Gen 6, in Gen 7. He was phenomenal. He's always been amazing. At the start of Gen 8, he was a top 10 mod. He's just as Big Drill. He's always been a GOAT. And now he's UU. I don't get what kind of world we're living in. But people think Excadrill is mid. Freaking shut up, computer. I'm trying to record a video. But anyways, yes. So the main reason most people will say that people aren't using Excadrill as much is, of course, Corviknight, which hard walls him. Excadrill can't do anything to Corv, and he is the third most used mon in the tier. But still, the one counter to a mon does not make it trash. All right, this boy is a threat. All right, and it is disrespectful that people do not give him the credit he deserves. This man is a demon. He always has been, and I just don't have words, quite frankly. I mean, we can see like Hippo's used quite a bit in the tier, so compare well nicely with Exca. Same with T-Tar. So just I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on anymore. But as for how he'll be in UU, so the first impression, right, is that, like, of course he'd be busted in UU. He's freaking Big Drill. Just throw like a Gigalith on your team and just get the sand going and you're set. But also at the same time, if we check, there is actually a fair bit in UU that can deal with Excadrill without too much trouble. Mainly Celesteela. Same deal as Corv. Excadrill just can't touch this typing. Both Rotoms in this tier. If you're not running Mold Breaker, then they're a problem. Stuff like Thundurus and Tangrowth super walling you forever with all his defense is just a surprising amount that can deal with Drill in the tier. So is he gonna get banned? I don't know. But regardless, I think my point still stands that people need to show this mon some respect because he's a freaking beast. And I just can't believe this. I never thought I'd see the day. This guy in UU. What kind of timeline is this? Where we have Exca and Aegislash in UU. I don't know where I am anymore. But, yeah. But, my friends, just you wait, because the absurdity is not over, because the next drop, also to the tier, is Hydreigon. Another mon who used to be top 10 in OU this gen, and now people aren't using him for some reason. This mon is super getting banned, in my opinion. There's no shot this thing lasts in UU at all, I think. The only things that can deal with it really are Chansey, obviously, because it's freaking Chansey. Just its whole job is walling special attack goes. Although, honestly, if you really wanted to, you could put superpower on this guy just for Chansey, which may not be a bad option, honestly. So there's that. And the only other thing that could like be a solid check to this guy would be like something like Assault Vest Primarina or something like that. That's basically it. There's like nothing else in this tier that can switch into Hydreigon. Like, you just set up one nasty plot, you have +2, you are destroying everybody. Everyone's catching a Dark Pulse. Everyone's catching a Draco, alright? You got a Steel type, I got Flamethrower. It's just... This dude's getting banned. There's no way. There's no way he lasts. He's too broken. He just can't. They can't do it. What's a quad weakness to Fairy? And he's blowing everybody away. Alright? What other fairy types you got in the tier? Freaking Hatterene? Freaking Dark Pulse is neutral. Get embodied. Freaking... What? You got Tapu Bulu? Tapu Bulu's getting blown away by Flamethrower. Freaking... What? this guy's gonna be busted. He's getting banned 100%. As to why people aren't using him, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I get there are a lot of mods that make life hard for him. Blissey, for one, again, just wall every special attacker. Of course, stuff like Clef and Tapu Fini, big issues for him. Just shut him down kind of hard, unless you're running Flash Cannon for Clef. And just yeah, he does have some issues, but still, he's Hydreigon. Also, there's a lot of offensive checks to him in the tier. Stuff like Dragapult outspeeding, just going for Draco, or Weavile outspeeding, Triple Axle, Scarf Garchomp also a pain for him, or Scarf Lele too, honestly. But still, I still think, even though he does struggle a bit in the tier, I think he's still a huge threat. You would have one nasty plot, you are destroying any balance team, like straight up, unless they have Fini. But if they don't, then like you're just like they're done. And also like just choice sets too, really solid. Specs hits stupid hard. I think Scarf honestly still has a bit of potential. And also there's like the bulky sets with Roost and stuff that give him a lot more longevity. Yeah, I don't know. I think Hydreigon's getting slept on a bit. But hey, maybe people will come to their senses once this boy gets freaking banished from UU. Maybe they'll realize. But anyways, so have fun with Hydreigon while he lasts for like probably a whole day. So yeah. Anyways, as for the rest of the drops to UU, we got Mandibuzz. This was kind of inevitable, honestly. This pretty much always happens with Mandibuzz, where it's really, really good when a new generation starts, but then over time it just kind of slowly drops off, becomes less useful. People choosing like different options for the defensive flying type, like Corviknight or Landorus, or Zapdos or Tornadus or whatever. So people not feeling Mandibuzz as much, but I still think Mandibuzz has a use in the tier. As I mentioned previously when I talked about Blacephalon, not a lot that switches in to Ghost moves, or Dark moves for that matter. And Mandibuzz is probably one of the best switch-ins for both of those. Obviously stuff like Weavile, bit of a pain for him, since Ice Stab and whatnot. Yeah, it does have a lot of competition from other flying types in the tier, definitely. But I still think he's probably one of the best checks to stuff like Dragapult, Bisharp, even if you're running like physically defensive. Yeah, I don't know. I think Mandibuzz still has a place in the tier, but I'm also not surprised at all that it has dropped down to UU. Also dropping down is Skarmory. Speaking of birds with competition, this one's obvious. Just everyone's using Corviknight instead. People don't care about Skarmory. They don't feel like there's a reason to use him. They just feel like Corviknight can do what it does better, which I think is debatable. I still think Skarm has its uses. For one thing, it can set up hazards, which Corviknight can't do. And that is one of the few uses Skarm has still in OU, I'd say, is hazard setter. Especially you could use him something on like hyper offense, just kind of suicide lead, set up spikes, and all that. And also I think Iron Defense Body Press is a nice set on him. But yeah, it's easy to see why people aren't using him because Corv's right there. So yeah, and yet another Mon dropping down to UU that can handle Excadrill very, very well. Like I said, I don't know if this guy's getting banned or not. We'll just have to see. Slowking moving down to UU. I guess kind of this hype for the Slow Brothers has died down a bit. People used to be spamming these guys, just future sight teleport, constantly, which is still very good. But people have been feeling Slowking in particular less, which I guess main reason for that probably be if people want like special defense from Slowking, most people would probably rather use the Galarian form, and if people want that like defensive water psychic typing, most people will probably go for Slowbro over that, because Slowbro still able to deal with a bunch of mons in the tier, namely Urshifu, and yeah, just can eat hits for days, deals with Melmetal, doesn't have T-Punch, and it just I don't know, just people not feeling Slowking as much, which I get, because I mean, having 3 Slow Brothers in one tier is a bit excessive, I think. So yeah, back down to UU he goes. But of course, I still think Slowking is useful in the tier. Basically, just a specially defensive version of Slowking, or Slowbro rather. So if people feel like they want that special defense, could always use him instead. But like I said, more people wanting that physical defense. And Swampert moving down to UU as well. This is another one that he was kind of slowly but surely falling down as time went on. Swampert was very hyped up when he got released because he had Flip Turn now, which made him a great pivot. But slowly he's just kind of dwindled over time. Which I think he's still pretty useful, honestly, because I mean, like, he's got an amazing typing, which I mean, stuff like Rillaboom does give him problems, but aside from that, he just Water Ground's always been amazing. It's just could sit on a lot. Probably, if I had to guess, biggest drawback Swampert is the lack of solid recovery. You basically have to rely on leftovers, which is never great. So yeah, I guess people weren't feeling him as much. But I still think he's a solid rock setter and a pivot as well. But it seems like he's going to be very nice in UU. Mentioned earlier about Seismitoad. Now that Swampert's in the tier, I wonder if Seismitoad's going to last, or if people are going to stop using him. He's going to drop down to RU because now he has more competition for being a water ground type in the tier. So we'll see how that plays out. And now, with that out of the way, from UU to RU, we got Grimmsnarl. So, if I had to guess, this is probably because of the Light Clay ban, and people just not feeling dual screens as much anymore, which makes sense. And because of that, since Light Clay's banned in basically all the lower tiers, I wonder if people are even going to consider picking up Grimmsnarl along the way, or if people are just going to keep ignoring him as he constantly just drops down lower and lower through the tiers. So I don't know about that. Like I said, I think not having Light Clay, obviously not great, but 5 turns is still still you can work with that. So I think people are still sleeping on dual screens a little bit, because I still think it's viable, even if can't have Light Clay, at least in the lower tiers. But yeah, makes sense. Why Grimmsnarl falling off? I honestly think people are kind of sleeping on the potential of offensive Grimmsnarl. I feel like people haven't considered that for a long time. People just see him as a screen setter and not much else, but I think he's still got potential. Very Dark's a cool type. He's strong with base 120 attack. Gets great moves like Play Rough, Spirit Break, Dark Lariat, Sucker Punch. I think he still has potential offensively. I think people are sleeping on that. Plus, you can always have like bulk up Prankster, or you can just go straight Banded. I think he's pretty solid. Definitely worth consideration, I feel. But anyways, and finally, from RU down to NU, we have Doublade, Regidrago, and Snorlax. So, these drops seem kind of crazy for NU, honestly. Like I said, I don't play lower tiers that much, so I'm not super familiar, but yeah, I mean, as we can look, first off, I mean, Regidrago is kind of a little obvious, because, I mean, if we look at top 10 in RU, we can see the 3 fairy types. We got Togekiss, Mimikyu, and Galarian Weezing, so yeah, kind of tough for Regidrago, so that makes sense why he dropped down. As for how he'll be in NU, hey, calm down, computer. Hush, hush. As for how he'll be in NU, I don't know. I mean, still solid fairy types like Comfey, Dancy, Sylveon especially. So I don't know. It's just kind of hard for Regidrago, when you mostly spam one type, and there's another type that's very good, that totally walls you. So yeah, that's kind of rough. Doublade and Snorlax, I'm honestly not totally sure why they dropped off. I think those are both still very solid mons. Snorlax, always been tanky, always been able to, you can set up, or you can just kind of sit around, can be banded. He's just always been a nice option, but I guess people aren't feeling him as much, which again, I'm not entirely sure why. Also, Doublade, I think, has always been great. If you look at top 10 RU, I feel like Doublade deals with quite a bit. Can deal with Togekiss if it doesn't have Flamethrower. Foul Play from Umbreon is a little scary, but also close combat's very good against that. And just, I don't know, man. Can take a dump on friggin' Galarian Weezing. I don't know. I think Doublade's still pretty good. But now he's NU, so we'll see about that. I wonder if he's going to be kind of crazy in the tier, because, I mean, like, he's very strong after one Swords Dance, and plus with the Eviolite, he's stupid bulky, at least physically. So who knows? I'm not entirely sure how much potential he has. Although I did see some people talking about now in NU, Surfetch is gonna go crazy because can just eviscerate, just obliterate Snorlax with close combat, and can hit Doublade because he has Scrappy. So who knows? I guess maybe these two won't be that busted after all. But yeah, those are the new changes. Honestly, it's probably some of the bigger tier shifts we've had in a while. Specifically from OU to UU. I can't believe Drill and Hydreigon falling down. How far they've come. It's just very unfortunate. But yeah, have fun with these guys before they maybe get banned in Excadrill's case, and definitely gets banned in Hydreigon's case, if you ask me. But yeah, so thank you all for watching all the way to the end. And I don't really know what else to say. So hopefully you guys looking forward to more videos like this. I plan on a lot more competitive focused content in the future moving forward. And I hope you guys will be into that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. So yeah, see you later.